DIY masks.
Maybe two. So melasma always originates from a hormonal area, so you have either, your pregnancy hormones or your menopausal hormones, and add to it, we go out in the sun, it further worsens. We cannot cure melasma, so it stays with you.
What causes hyperpigmentation, and is there really a cure?
The problem with Indian skin is any friction leads to pigmentation. We have a condition called brush dermatitis. Those stones, they're rubbing and scrubbing their skin and it leads to pigmentation. I think we have that colonial obsession of fairness in India. Everybody wants to look fair. People used to say you apply hyaluronic acid and then apply moisturizer.
Yeah.
But then why? You're spending money on hyaluronic acid. Your moisturizer is doing the job. If you ask me, I hate hyaluronic acid.
So this is a conversation I need to have
Yes.
around PCOD.
It may happen, my patients come and say, we have done all the tests, my periods are bang on time, and still this is persistent. There are people who have lean PCOD, they are thin like a stick and still they have a PCOS.
I was recently, about 2 years ago, diagnosed with borderline PCOD. I started seeing a difference in myself personally because I started gaining weight. I started getting hormonal acne because I've never had acne or acne scarring even as a teen. The 7-step skincare routine. The internet is going crazy about it. Do we really need all of this?
The beauty of skin is it's very individual. It's like a fingerprint. It's very unique. So you have to understand what your skin type is. And also, just to deviate, our skin type changes with age, with weather. So you may use something now and it's very nice for your skin. 2 years down the line, you will feel this is not working for my skin.
Men deal with this too? Hormonal acne too? Let's talk about that.
Men have hormonal acne. They have pigmentation, a huge concern.
Yes.
Which is often, I would say sadly underrated in men, but they have more pigment than women.
Why are the younger generation looking a lot more older? And is it something to do with their hormones? Is it something to do with the food they are consuming?
The skin is the mirror of your body. So when I see a lot of problems happening on the skin, I go, like I asked you, is your gut okay?
Yes.
So a good clean diet, your digestion is okay, you're taking care of your exercise, the stress is down, then all these things are going to help you, in the long run to have a happy skin and hair both.
Why do many 20-year-olds look like they are in their 30s today? Why do so many people spend thousands on their makeup and skincare and yet end up breaking out? Today we are going to have important conversations around what really works and what doesn't. She's EllevIndia's best dermat of the year, and she's also the skincare expert behind India's top confident faces. On the show today, she's going to be brutally honest and brutally real on a new episode, The Real Talk on the Shanu Suresh Show. Keep watching. Hi, Doctor. I'm so happy to have you on the Shanu Suresh Show. Thank you so much for doing this for us.
Thank you, Shanu, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Doctor, let's start off with your journey because you've had an incredible run throughout. Obviously talking about, your life where you spent about 35 years, you spent a lot of time, building and running clinics, like especially Kaya and all of that, to starting Yavana.
Yes.
What point in your career did you feel that, enough is enough, I need to start my own game? What changed in you and how did it go?
I think when we did this was 20 years ago when I did my MD dermatology, it was not a very sought out field. It was a field which was a little easy. You don't have a medical emergencies. So, people would rarely opt for it. And then when I just came out of my MD dermatology, suddenly there was like a boom because Kaya came in and then there was a lot of noise about aesthetic procedures. And for us, that point of time, Kaya was like a training institute in a way, I would say. We learned a lot from Kaya, and that's how, we all would go for Kaya Skin Clinic as an option. And because of whatever my hard work and my talent, maybe the people liked me out there. They gave me the position of medical head. I was fortunate to run around more than 30 clinics for them with 100 doctors for nearly 9-10 years. After a point, I realized I'm doing a lot of admin work, not clinical work, which is my core, which I enjoy doing. I like injecting, I like treating patients, I like talking to people as my patients. And I realized I was losing touch of that. And that's where, that clicked, that, I think I need to step out and do my own thing, where I am there with my patients, treating them, loving those smiles of satisfaction, helping out what I was meant to do. And that's where the switch came, and I started Yavana on my own.
All right, that seems like quite an interesting journey. You spent 20 years, you said that's nearly 2 decades in the industry.
Yes.
And a small question about the industry in itself. Has the industry truly evolved, or have we gotten better at marketing insecurities to women?
I love that question, marketing insecurity. And you hit the nail on the head. So yeah, I think, definitely evolution is the name of the game. Whatever part of life we evolve. And while I'm very glad and happy that, we have evolved over the next 2 decades, that, where we started with some basic peels and lasers, and we were very wary, what are we doing with it? And now cut to what we are doing now is like something, a whole different ball game altogether. And what I like about this is that we are evolving, going back to regeneration, trying to, do things which really imbibe and, evolve, and also, how do we say, empathize with our, internal structure. But at the same time, the sad part is we are overdoing it. We are seeing a lot of unnecessary things being there in the aesthetic market which are not required, and people are going for it. Maybe there's a lot of social media consumption, there's a lot of accessibility, and maybe that's what is, kind of, you have the good, but you also have the bad with it.
Obviously, we'll go into a little more detail into all of that and how social media is truly playing a role in, like I said, marketing insecurities of women. But let's start addressing the common concerns, because I'm sure a lot of the people who are already watching this are hoping to get a lot of tidbits from you that they could take on home. And interestingly, because everyone on social media is an expert today, right?
True.
So I would want to hear from the expert herself, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one hugely common concern, that's hyperpigmentation. It's earlier we would see that in women who have crossed 45 or in their 50s, and call it as part of aging. But today you also see a lot of younger women developing it, and I really want to know, what causes hyperpigmentation, and is there really a cure?
So 2 things. One, I would somewhere differ on your take that, only in the past 40s. I think there's a very popular brand which extended has, been there for years and decades, and people are going for it, because I think we have that colonial obsession of fairness in India. Everybody wants to look fair. So it's just that now people are aware and naming it as pigment or hyperpigmentation. So we Indians have darker skin cells. We have we call them melanocytes. They are more darker, bigger in size, more, encapsulated with melanin as compared to Caucasian skin, which is a good thing because it's like an umbrella over your skin. So when you are out in the sun, it opens that umbrella and you get a lot of sun protection. So we are saved from skin cancer. But at the same time, that natural instinct or natural response of pigment stays. And over the years, it accumulates. In the past, that awareness of sun protection was not there. So the pigmentary conditions would be very obvious in 40s. Now, because of the awareness, people are knowing that even in 20s, you can get pigmented, and how do you prevent and protect yourself. So I think there's a shift in terms of, which is a good shift, that people are taking more care about their skin. So I think hyperpigmentation existed. We talked about fairness. Now it has become a more evolved and subtle thing wherein we talk about pigmentation, but the basic common, seed concern is the same. How do we get more fairer than we are?
Is that really what it is all about? And also, along with hyperpigmentation, there is another common concern that people have is you call it melasma?
Yes,
when you
melasma.
have these developments on the cheek, because that is something that you can't really hide with makeup. And
Absolutely.
A lot of women, especially my age, even when they are much more younger, also have started seeing that. What causes that?
So melasma is a very common concern in a darker skin type as compared to Caucasian. What do you mean by melasma? It's a dark patch which comes on the face sometimes, on all over certain areas like cheeks and all. There are 2 parts of it. It could be because of pregnancy induced. It could be because of hormonal changes. So melasma always originates from a hormonal area. So you have either, your pregnancy hormones or your menopausal hormones. And add to it, we go out in the sun, it further worsens. So there's a lot of inflammation on the skin, and over a period of time becomes deep-seated. And unfortunately, because it's hormonal driven and sun is everywhere, we cannot cure melasma. So it stays with you. We have to just try to reduce it. That's what I tell my patients, that we treat it like diabetes. We can control it, but we can't cure it.
So there is no cure
Unfortunately
to melasma,
not.
unfortunately.
And the sad part, because a lot of people are going through trauma because of this. They go to a lot of negative things, or they go to unlicensed people, put on a lot of steroid creams or lightening creams containing mercury and all, and they damage their skin instead of getting benefit out of it. So that's the sad part of it. So I think there's a lot of awareness which should be there about melasma.
What about
disease.
lasers? Like, can lasers really cure or get rid of? When you say you can make it lighter, right? So that, of course, it won't go to a point of extinction.
Yes.
You said.
That's what I
Quite
meant.
unfortunate, right? All right. So coming a bit to me personally, I was recently, about 2 years ago, diagnosed with borderline PCOD. It's not too much where the numbers were really high, but it was a borderline. But I started seeing a difference in myself personally because I started gaining weight. I started getting hormonal acne because I've never had acne or acne scarring even as a teen.
Right.
And I've never known what acne was. And suddenly I had all these eruptions on my face and I was going crazy. I couldn't apply makeup because it was still standing out and the scars took forever to leave. And that is when I started reading up about it, and it, dawned upon me that there is something called hormonal acne, which could also be a result of PCOD or any of thing that you have, and also hair fall. Of course, living in the UAE, your water is slightly more harsh than other places, but multiple factors. You lose hair. That's when I reached out to doctor. Doctor was my knight in shining armor on a beautiful white horse who came and helped me. And she's like, use this, use that. And it reduced a lot.
Yes.
So this is a conversation I need to have around PCOD, around how it really impacts women across ages, and what is something that you can do as a preventive measure.
So I think PCOD is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is a couple of things put together, and that's why it's called a syndrome. And again, it has become more prevalent with time because of various factors: bad lifestyle, bad diets, sleep issues. So a lot of those things have added to your PCOS. And as you said, I have people coming in 30s and 40s, doc, I know I had acne in my life and suddenly I'm getting a bunch of acne. What's wrong? That is alarming for them. So hormones, we have androgens. Now what happens is whenever you have PCOD, these androgens become a little like a naughty child. They misbehave, okay? And we also have something called as peripheral hormones out here in the skin. When you have these PCOD, it may happen my patients come and say, we have done all the tests, my periods are bang on time, and still this is persistent. There are people who have lean PCOD, they are thin like a stick and still they have a PCOS. So it is known that it is a hormonal thing. Now when these hormones are active, something called as peripheral hormones like these, they become, we call them end organ hypersensitivity. I mean, I'm throwing a lot of technical terms.
Please. But, we will list them out for our viewers,
Yeah, so end organ hypersensitivity is when your skin becomes like a sensitive hub. So a little bit of off diet, a little bit of sleep, not being proper, a little bit of stress more than usual, and suddenly boom, you see some breakout. Some people come with hair loss. Some people come with body hair. So you have different manifestations, weight gain. So all these are part of that, spectrum, and it's like a vicious cycle. It just goes and on until you go and break the cycle.
So are you going to say mine will re-erupt the minute I stop medication?
No.
So it's gone.
So it is controlled, calmer, but you have to learn to manage your PCOS better. You have to understand what is causing my PCOS and how do I address those lifestyle factors and be preventive about it. So when you're preventive, automatically your symptoms don't come back.
So when you say preventive, what do you really mean?
So as I mentioned it is largely hormones. Now what do hormones react to? It's like an axis. So it is basically fed by your diet. If you have a good low glycemic diet, not too much of outside food, processed foods, have your food on time.
Oh, that's something that my timings are very erratic.
So those older times that early to bed, early to sleep, have your food, it is very relevant now. People have forgotten that. So your diet on time. I have patients who say, I eat a proper diet, healthy diet. Still I'm breaking out because you're skipping breakfast, you're having lunch at 3. So your cortisol levels of your body go up, your insulin goes up, and automatically, you have this weight gain and you have these breakouts. So it's all linked. So those are smaller things, people rush after medications, but they don't realize these resetting of your hormones can be done by these lifestyle.
And these happen to women across all ages?
Men, women, everywhere.
Oh, men deal with this too? Hormonal acne too? Let's talk about that.
Men have hormonal acne, they have Pigmentation is a huge concern,
Yes.
which is often, I would say sadly underrated in men, but they have more pigment than women, because women still do a little bit of skincare.
They would
men don't.
obviously mask it as a result of their manlyhood.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So so it's not, it's yes more common in women because we have estrogen and progesterone. Men have testosterone, but they do have their fair bit of acne because of hormonal changes. That is one thing. Then again, your sleep patterns. People say that I sleep at 1 a.m. and I get up at 9, so I'm getting my 8 hours. But 12 to 4 is where your body resets itself again. The
Yeah.
circadian rhythm. You're not following that, my dear. So then again, that builds up as a acne, hair fall, weight gain.
All of this has been such an ingrained part of our Indian tradition and Indian lifestyle. The Brahma Muhurtam, they say that you wake up early and
Yes,
that. So,
yes.
yes, I see where it's all coming from. All right, now talking about your skin conditions, I want to address another important question or a fad. Let's call it a
Yes.
fad. The 7-step skincare routine. The internet is going crazy about it.
Yes.
Earlier, when I would go to supermarkets on stalls, I would find a sunscreen, I would find a moisturizer. Then I started seeing tinted some moisturizers, and now every brand has its own line of hyaluronic acids, vitamin C's, 10 million serums, 100 million eye creams. And do we really need all of this?
Absolutely not. Ask any true doormat, they will look at you and say you don't need any of that. So first, let's understand why do we not need it. We are Indians. We are not Koreans. Our weather is Indian, it's not Korean weather. So there's a lot of difference in genetics, the environment that we stay in, our lifestyle habits. So Indians, I think, have beautiful skin. I love your skin. I love the bone structures we Indians have. So we neglect that beauty and we chase something. It's like grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
So that's the sad part. But one, our genetics are different. Secondly, our weather is more humid. So what is Korean principle is about hydration, because they stay in a dry weather. We stay in a humid weather. If we do too much of hydration, we'll land up with problems like breakouts, acne, clogged pores. The skin looks very ugly, unfortunately. So I think we have to understand those basic principles. So I'm not saying all fads are wrong, but does it apply to us? Not really.
So are you saying that, okay, because even young kids today, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, I sometimes go to people's houses and I see their younger sisters and their bathroom or their washroom, area is stacked with products at that age. So should really people focus on you doing this intense kind of a skincare at that young age? It's damaging for sure.
Absolutely. You got it right, because why? You're just a 13, 14-year-old kid and you say the beauty of youth. You're having that beauty. Why would you want to harm that beauty? You're evolving, your hormones are there, your skin is nice. Yes, you will have some problems, but that can be tackled with. But at that age, you really don't need a 7-step or a 10-step. I have 14-year-old coming using retinols,
My parents support it too.
Yeah, I often ask the parent, why did you give the credit card and how do you manage? Till date, I am very scared to spend because of my dad, and they are like just splurging over the, products. How,
I mean, of course. So tell me about it. Like, this is something I definitely want to talk about a bit more. Is hyaluronic acid really important?
If you ask me, I hate hyaluronic acid.
Okay, let's
don't
talk about that.
prescribe, and it's a strong word to use.
Yeah, I hate is a very strong word, because honestly, prior to talking to doctor with regards to my hormonal acne, I used to have a 7 or 6-step routine, because I love.
Please name the products you're using.
So I would start off with washing my face with like a serum control face wash. And then I would go on to a vitamin C during the day. Then I would add a serum. Immediately a serum, then a vitamin C, then a hyaluronic acid, sometimes niacinamide, and then I would put my moisturizer, and then I would put my sunscreen and retinol twice a week. And doctor is like, stop it all. You don't need, you just need a moisturizer and you need a sunscreen. That's good enough. I'm like, huh? Why? So tell me about this. Why is hyaluronic acid, why shouldn't we use it? Because dry skin is a concern. How do we mitigate that?
So to understand, I do love my hyaluronic acid in injections. Let me clarify that.
Okay.
But when you're applying, there's nothing bad about it, but hyaluronic acid is hygroscopic. So when you apply it, it is going to sit on your skin, and it has a natural property to grab water. So when you apply, the first thing is going to grab from environment, which is nice. We want the water. Now it is thirsty. It's finished the water around it. Where is it going to go next? It's going to go to your skin, and going to start grabbing water from your skin.
Oh.
And then after few minutes, you'll feel it was nice and plump. What happened? My skin is feeling very dehydrated, very dull, irritated, because that hyaluronic acid, like a ugly, hungry monster, has grabbed all the water and sitting there.
So what was supposed to help you is also harming you.
Yes.
So you're saying as opposed to that, niacinamide is better?
As opposed to that, a ceramide is better.
Okay, what exactly is?
So ceramides are, we have in our skin a barrier, you've heard of that. We have something called as NMF, or natural moisturizing factors on our skin. So these factors have something called as ceramides, which is an intrinsic part of hydration. So when we apply ceramides, they are anti-inflammatory, they take in the hydration and keep it in the skin. And they don't go hungry and grab water from the skin. So they basically strengthen your skin barrier. So when you apply a ceramide or a glycerine for that matter, or squalane, so there are a lot of good hydrators which you can use without this, unnecessary impact of your skin getting dehydrated. Yes, if you see, when you started off with hyaluronic acid in the past few years, people used to say you apply hyaluronic acid and then apply moisturizer.
Yeah.
But then why? You're spending money on hyaluronic acid. Your moisturizer is doing the job.
Can you use a hyaluronic acid independently? No, you have to top it off with a moisturizer so it drinks in the moisture. So you're saying the process is quite redundant in itself. I get the point.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So you use the word squalene, and I came across a product few years ago because I was sent it in a PR kit, the squalene oil. Is that really good to use?
Yes.
Are oils good for your face?
So it depends again on your skin type. See, I think the beauty of skin is it's very individual. It's like a fingerprint. It's very unique. So you have to understand what your skin type is. And also, just to deviate, our skin type changes with age, with weather. So you may use something now and is very nice for your skin. 2 years down the line, you will feel this is not working for my skin. So it's important to understand. So if you have a dry skin, a dehydrated skin, or skin which is very irritated, that's where a squalene would work. Yes, but if you have very oily skin, clogged skin, tending to acne, then I would not really recommend a squalene for them, because it may end up worsening your acne.
Similarly with coconut oil, because it's highly comedogenic,
yes.
right?
So coconut oil not for the face, definitely.
Really?
Yes.
Because I have a contrasting opinion about this, because my father is from Kerala, my mother is a Goan Portuguese. So on my father's side, I have seen my entire dad's family apply coconut oil and then go for a shower. They do not use moisturizers, none of that. They go through the entire
like
body.
Coconut oil.
Yeah, coconut oil routine, and then go have a shower and start their day. So this is what I've seen them do. And they didn't seem to have a lot of issues with their skin. I don't know, maybe it's genetics or something to do with them.
I agree, while you're right. So even I recommend, I have patients with atopic dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis. I do tell them, do a coconut oil, like a bath kind of thing, where you apply coconut oil and then have a shower, but not on the face. Mine is the face. Yes, please apply it, because it's great anti-inflammatory. It has good oils which nourish the skin barrier. So I do recommend it. Also, the thing is, there are two changes. The previous times, why do you think we shifted to virgin coconut oil? Because now it's a processed coconut oil that we are using.
Yes, you should use cold pressed any day than.
Yes. So you have to be very mindful of the ingredient that you're using.
Fair, which is fair. Another thing that I wanted to discuss about, something that I have been observing a lot, and also there has been a lot of chatter around this on the internet, that today a lot of teenagers, people in their 20s, are looking a lot more older than their age.
Yes.
As opposed to people in their 30s, 40s, they seem to be growing younger. I know, right, doctor? Absolutely. Look at you. You look absolutely stunning. And why is that happening? Why are the younger generation looking a lot more older? And is it something to do with their hormones? Is it something to do with the food they are consuming? And how do we stop it? How do we let them age gracefully or grow gracefully?
So if you see the shift in the culture, when we were kids, we used to go outdoors and play. We didn't have screens. Our friends were our go-to. We barely had that one television which we would watch for some time, but that also was under parental control, right?
Yeah.
And the food quality was amazing. Environment was better. So many of goods were there. So I think somewhere those points help. Nowadays, if you see a typical 20-year-old on the screen all the time, the blue light affects it.
That's another question
Yes,
that I have, but I will
that is
come to
one
that.
thing. Secondly, there is a lot of sleep disorders, because people are sleeping late, as I mentioned. Again, you have all your apps which provide you those instant foods. So a lot of people are opting for that. And again, there's a lot of global movement. So people are working away from home. There's anxiety, stress, unlike the previous time. So I think there are a lot of multiple factors which are contributing. And then obviously your access to skincare, you're doing overloading products on your skin, inflaming it all the time, you're bound to look older, right? At the end of the day, with so many things against you.
And plus the products like we
Absolutely.
spoke about earlier.
Absolutely.
So is there it's nothing to do with the current genetic situation that we all are in, or it's just the environment we are exposed to largely?
I think the genetics are modifying. How do genetics modify? Because of the lifestyle, right? So the next generation would have carry forward those genetics, which is an inflamed genetics, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you don't have good quality, the soil quality is bad, so the food has chemicals in it. Then your water sometimes are not pure. The air you're breathing is not pure. So all that becomes inherent in your DNA, and then you pass it on to the next generation. So I think that also impacts it.
Okay, you spoke about inflammation, and there is this Vidya Balan spoke highly about inflammation and how she reduced a lot of weight because she started eating food that
Yes.
that stopped her inflammation. Let's talk about that. Does inflammation really help? What are the things that we can really pay attention to avoid inflammation in our body, and so that we don't get eruptions in our skin or even put on weight?
So I think there's a very common popular paper and discussion about gut skin axis. So I always tell my patients, they come, sometimes with acne or random skin issues, and I immediately ask them, how is your gut? And inflamed. My stomach feels bloated, I have acidity, my emotions are disturbed. So I think that's where, it starts from here and then goes everywhere here. And for us, it's always, skin is the mirror of your body. So when I see a lot of problems happening on the skin, I go, like I asked you, is your gut okay?
Yes.
So your gut is, the hub of everything. So if you have a good, clean diet, because that's not available nowadays. As I said, people are opting outside. So a good, clean diet, your digestion is okay, you're taking care of your exercise, the stress is down, then all these things are going to help you, in the long run to have a happy skin and hair both. So I think gut is very important. Don't neglect that.
You mentioned hair, so I would obviously want to take the conversation to hair. And also relation to our to my previous question to you, people are facing a lot of gray hair or premature graying and these sort of issues, especially with youngsters today. A lot of it is hereditary, we have known. A lot of it is your genes, but a lot of it is your lifestyle and stress, and also hard water, which water quality is getting worse day by day, irrespective of the city we are living in. Can we really stop or reverse graying? Because a lot of videos are there online where people are saying hair graying is caused due to lack of zinc in your food and all of that. Can we really reverse hair graying?
I'm glad you asked this because, previously 40 years old would have graying, and then now I see even 2-year and 3-year-old mothers getting them saying, my son has got a gray, my child has got a gray.
That is really sad.
Yes. So I think it's not only genetics anymore, it's also about the environment we are living in. Why does gray hair happen is because there's a lot of hydrogen peroxide buildup at the root follicle, which bleaches the hair. Now, this mainly largely comes from the environmental factors in a younger age, because up to 5 years, the child nutrition is taken care of. So, the environmental pollutants, they go and sit on the hair. Also, there's a lot of food quality disturbance. So, all these rob the nutrition of the hair, and hair is not well nourished. Automatically, you'll start seeing that buildup and seeing that graying happen. So, there are two things as a dermatologist we see. If the hair is just starting to look little grayish, yes, it is possible to reverse. But if it's silvery white gray, then it's difficult to reverse.
So you judge it based on the kind of gray. Okay.
Yes. So you can do it. And here I want to say there are a lot of these, videos floating around. Use this serum, it will reverse graying. Use that serum, it will reverse graying. Unfortunately, there's not enough scientific evidence. So don't fall for these gimmicks. Consult a dermatologist to understand what is the cause of your graying. Is it nutrition? Is it the environment? Is it the lifestyle, the stress factors? And get into the right nutrition for your hair. Thereby, you can at least kind of slow down the future gray.
Which is interesting. Do water showers or shower filters really help?
Yes, because, when you're talking of hard water, especially, from UAE and other places, I get a lot of patients saying the moment we shifted there and suddenly we are seeing a lot of hard water impact, because hard water contains a lot of chlorine and magnesium and silica, which then sit on the hair and thereby make it dry and frizzy and breaks it. So there's a lot of oxidative stress. Shower filters do help because they contain different filters too, like carbon filters or KFD filters, which kind of take away the chlorine, the magnesium, the salts, and thereby soften to the water. So I have patients who come and say, my skin is also feeling less itchy, my hair is feeling less softer, less frizzy. So I think yes, to some degree, shower filters I do recommend to my patients.
Okay, fair enough. So I am going to go straight to a rapid fire question. Let's do this. I'm excited.
I'm tense. Do I get like some money or something?
I'm going to give you kisses in the end. Lots of kisses. Okay, so this is very simple, of course. So I'm going to ask you about name few common practices, products, and stuff that people do. I need you or your expert opinion and the ratings from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Okay. So vitamin C, 1 to 10.
8.
At home derma rulers.
0 if I can give it.
Why?
Or maybe 1.
But a lot of people talk about, sorry, I have to elaborate on this. A lot of people talk about using derma rollers for your products to go deeper into the skin and all of that. No?
So it's micro needles. You won't go and inject a heart medicine or a bone medicine on your own, right? Why would you want to do micro needles on your skin and hair?
Okay, fair. Slugging.
Absolutely not. As I mentioned, Indian weather, it's a disaster.
So 0?
I would say 4 maybe for dry skin.
Okay. Retinol for everyone.
9. Not for everyone. Retinol is great for 9, but not for everyone.
Okay, so you give it 9 out of 10. All right. Laser hair removal for teenagers.
After 18 years, 10.
Before that, no.
You have to take your dermat consultant and do it because there are some do's and don'ts which we follow.
Okay, we will elaborate on this. Salmon DNA.
Right now, currently, it's a favorite, 8.
Ooh, okay. DIY masks.
Maybe 2.
2. I'm going to come back to this. Exosomes.
Current favorite, 10 on 10 for me.
Really?
Yes.
Gua sha.
Again, maybe 1 or 2.
Okay, wait. I have so many questions. I have to come back and ask you.
I hope you call me back because I'm like kind of
No,
taking away all your favorite things, I guess.
Because I love the gua sha. I haven't got any fillers or any of the Botox or any of that done. So I really like the gua sha at least once a week or definitely once a month. But why?
Because what is gua sha again? In the moment when you do it, it is just helping you like a massage. So it is depuffing your skin. Yes, great. That's why I gave it a 2. It works very well on like water retention. That's about it. It's not going to stimulate collagen. It's not going to take away your pigment. It's not going to treat your wrinkles. It's just a massage. What else do you expect it to do?
Fine.
And sometimes if you're very aggressive, you tear your skin.
Yes,
and
see,
harm
that's
it.
the thing. Because you're obviously only there is a word that you use. You're obviously cleansing your channels.
Yes.
What do you call that?
The lymphatic drainage.
Yes, you're doing a drainage of your
Absolutely.
water retention and all
Absolutely.
of that. That's about
That's
it. Right?
about it.
Okay, now DIY masks. How can we not like it? Because that is something I have grown up seeing my
Absolutely.
mother, use her curd,
Yeah.
or maybe an occasional lime scrub for a
Absolutely.
natural vitamin C and
Absolutely.
all of that. And doctors like, no DIY scrubs. I'm like, why, doctor? Why?
So 2 things. Scrubs are what? It's like you're rubbing and scrubbing the skin. The problem with Indian skin is any friction leads to pigmentation. If not immediate, in the long run. So we have a condition called brush dermatitis. When patients come with a lot of pigmentation on the hand, and then we realize they have been like, those stones, they're rubbing and scrubbing their skin and it leads to pigmentation. And also when you're doing this scrubbing, you're tearing your skin. So it will create those micro injuries, which in the long run will make your skin super sensitive. And then you say, I'm doing all the right things and my skin is reacting. Why? Because you yourself created the problem.
Wow, that was deep. So are you recommending that we only use moisturizers and sunscreens in itself and that's about it?
Yes.
Khalas, done.
Done. No, so DIY, I also grew up with DIYs because that time we didn't have a lot of products. There are 2 things with DIYs. Nowadays, most of the ingredients which you use in the kitchen have chemicals and colors in it and preservatives.
That's true.
right? It's not authentic anymore. So it will react on your skin. Secondly, because of those, trends, people are trying a tomato juice one day, a lemon juice the second day, something else, something. I mean, where do you have the time to do this? And what is the pH? How is it reacting on your skin? So,
Honestly, I have to share this because back in the day, especially when you were in Cochin or Kerala, when you would go to parlors there or salons there, I used to go with my mum. And for a fruit facial, there is no product. They've literally taken fruit, mashed it in the mixer and applied a
it.
mask, be it papaya
Yes,
or all of
yes.
that. So I have seen them do that, and that was,
Absolutely.
a very exquisite
Yes.
facial in itself. So
Yes.
no to that.
So, as I said, see the quality of product you're putting on your face. When you're looking at a bottle product, while I agree, people say it's a chemical, but you're imbibing anything. Water is a chemical, right? At the end of it. So, when you're imbibing anything or putting in a bottle, at least it is pH balanced. It goes through safety checks. There's a FDA approval to it. When you're putting it in the kitchen, you don't know chemical reaction that is happening, and then you're applying it on your face. And how is it going to react on your face? So even if you want to or do a DIY, do a patch test first. See, is it working well on that area? And then maybe try it and stay consistent to it for some time. Don't keep jumping between DIYs, is my suggestion if you really love it.
Fair, fair. I take your point. Doctor, you yourself have been through a lot of hardships in life. You're a single mother.
Yes.
There is a lot that I think we can talk about being a single mother and what really went wrong or what happened in your life. This is an aspect of yourself personally. And along with that, we have a lot of stuff that we are going to cover, but it's going to come out in the next part, so stay tuned.